Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show episode 263. And in this one, we will be touching on the Barnet game. We won't be giving player ratings or anything, just our overall thoughts when we watch the game. And then we will be talking about the transfer news since obviously we ended that stream the other day. And was it good enough? And are we happy with it until at least January? But before we do any of that, Dad, how are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. Still enjoyed the game the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's get straight into that game. So, Barnet is my first game in a competitive game, if you want to call it that. I went to this season, and yeah, some good vibes before the game. They were doing a shooting drill, and yeah, it was free to do. And you know, when we were leading up to it, Jamie was looking at me, saying like, "Should we give it a go? Should I give it a go?" So I did. I give it a go in my trainers. So I was a little bit worried because I was doing it in my trainers, but I was actually close. I had 2 attempts, and they did say, "Do you want it rolled out or just we'll hold it and you can shoot?" Obviously with the feet, they're not going to hold it in their hand. So yeah, I'd done that. Yeah, I was thinking if I roll in this sort of weather because it's very hit and miss. There was actually a really nice rainbow actually outside Kenilworth Road. I think it's a double one as well. So yeah, that was sick. But yeah, I got very close on my shots. Didn't quite get them in, but yeah, it's good to see that they're doing stuff like that this year. So I've noticed it a lot. I mean, there was even bits when towards the back end, it was really since like I know it sounds a bit mad, but since Rob Edwards got sacked, we started like doing stuff before games and that, trying to sort of change the vibe at the club. But yeah, we obviously done that. Went into the club shop. Of course, we'll have a look. We did a little look at the new shirts. The more I see them in person, they're really, really nice, especially the away and the third one. And then, yeah, obviously saw the mascots coming out. And if you saw my Instagram, I took pictures with both of them as well. It's just a bit of a laugh because one of them was actually the one that's the female, dressed up as the female, actually had his beard sticking out. So I had to make sure that wasn't intact when getting the picture. But yeah, it was a good laugh. It's a good laugh. Got there, fairly early. And yes, obviously sat where I was. And obviously, again, if you saw my Instagram, it was a very, very good view for the game. Obviously, Jamie won the tickets. And probably the best view I've been in the main stand. That's not where I usually am, or usually was, shall I say. So yeah, it was really, really good. No one in front of us, and I'll be honest, I do like our fans, but sometimes, especially in the main stand, they're moving around every 5 minutes. And I don't know if you guys in the chat do let me know when you've experienced that, but yeah, it's very frustrating. That's why I can't really be in the middle of the main stand. I'll be honest. But yeah, our view is obviously very good. And yeah, we go into the game. We have a look at the lineup, and it's a very, very strong lineup going into this game. Now, like I said in my match reaction, is that due to the fact we got the international break coming up, or do we actually really want to take this competition seriously? Because as much as it is very strong, like I say, there was obviously still a few youngsters, like Sir Richards. You had Phillips and Lynch on the bench. Obviously, Phillips and Lynch are loaned out, but because they're not going to be loaned out for the whole season, they can't feature in this competition for at least where they are now. They're not going to be out for the whole season anyway. They might get re-loaned somewhere else. But yeah, it was a very strong lineup. So Shea in goal. Obviously, that's a rotational goalkeeper. You expect that. Chigoze, Makoso, Naismith. Good to see Chigoze in. He had a very good spell, as we know, against Coventry. Kadoa, again, good to see. Bramall. So you look at that and you could argue right now that's probably our strongest players that we play at wing back right now. Walsh, Richards, and Nelson. I would have put Walsh in this game. I did say that. Richards, it was good to see him in. And then obviously Nelson, a little bit surprised he started in a way because how good he was against Burton. I thought he might be like on the bench at least instead of not starting. And then Nordos and Yates. Again, I would have went Yates for this game to get a goal, which he did. And then as for the bench, you had Ali, Lamine. So as it stands, Lamine looks like he will stay. Keeley, Longwick, Lynch, like I say, Shader Morris and Phillips. Bit of a shame we signed Gabode when we did. Otherwise, I'd like to see him in this game as well. But yeah, Shader Morris obviously on the bench. Good to see him on the bench. Obviously, we signed him early in the morning obviously, when it was announced on deadline day. So probably had a little bit longer than obviously El Hamadi and Gabode to actually get into the swing of things. But yeah, looking at that lineup, stronger than we would have anticipated, wasn't it, Dad?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's normal changes you'd expect a little bit. But up front, I get it makes sense. Yates still coming up to speed. Nordas, got to keep him playing, keep him, because he's sort of doing all right at the moment. And obviously, midfield, no Clark, no Saville. Do you know what I mean? That we knew that was going to happen. So it shows like the depth of the squad as well. And obviously, we've got a couple of injuries and that still. So maybe they were, other people would have started. Like you said, the Gillingham lad might have possibly have started that if we'd have started him a little bit earlier. But yeah, no, strong squad. And from that, I was thinking, well, yeah, we should definitely be winning this game. And then obviously it proved to be so. But yeah, it's good to see a couple of youngsters. Good to see Richards as well. And Chiodo, is he? Is that his name?
Chigoza, yeah.
No. Similar to thinking it of Bene. But I felt he done all right. Barnett started off in first couple of minutes or whatever, like on the attack, and then I think in other games, even in the friendlies, like it took us longer to kind of adapt to that a little bit, but we just turned it on. We're getting used to playing as a team now, and showing that we're just a much better quality of squad, and that's how it should be. I know they're in League Two, there was anything you like, but that's what it should be, and it shows that we haven't, we've still got a strong squad, So when we got promoted to the Championship the first time when Nathan Jones left, it was uncharted a little bit. We hadn't been there for a few years, and we did struggle under Graham Jones, but we keep this. If we do go up, we keep the core of this squad, which I think we definitely can. Then I think we can definitely compete again in that league, and that's what it's about, really.
Yeah, I mean, looking at even the cup games we've had in the past, we've struggled against teams that are like in League Two when we've been in the Championship. So at least this time we've sort of like overcome that hurdle. So so far. In that sense. And like we've said, when it comes to this group, we should be topping it. No excuses really. And the squad depth could be massive. Bringing in especially the attacking squad depth for like this type of competition, because obviously you come up against under 21s teams. Like it should be way too much for them sort of teams. Let's be honest. And that could massively benefit us, going far in this competition. But yeah, as for the start of the game, like you say, it was a bit of a shaky, I'd say, first 6 minutes, really, from us. We were, they were getting a few crosses into the box. We were just, like you say, trying to get grips of the game. But then we started to get hold of it, and Nordos scored. Great ball across by Kadoa. And like I said in my match reaction, when you're there, you see him open. And I was saying, the ball's got to be played across to him. He's literally in a good position now to finish it off. And as it's hit the post, it's sort of slowly, when, feeling it there, it's the ball sort of slowly gone in. But then there was a stage, because how slow it was going, you thought it was going to maybe creep like out or hit the other post. But it did go in, and you see the smiles on his face and the teammates and how much it meant to him. That's 2 out of 2 for him now. And you cannot be dropping him, because he is scoring the goals. And again, like we've always mentioned, even when he hasn't scored, his link-up play's been good, and it was again in this game. So massive credit to him, good finish and good build-up play once again, wasn't it, Doug?
Yeah, I can't remember who played the pass to Kadoa, but yeah, it was obviously a good pass, brilliant cross, and I think it's scuffed. I think he rushes his shot sometimes, and do you know what I mean? And I think he'd done that a little bit with this, like put a weird spin on the ball, but at the end of the day, it hit the post, and it it was coming out, but he was already running into to cover it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it counts. It's still it's a bit, like I say, it looks like an awkward finish, but it went in. Do you know what I mean? And fair play to him. And the fact is that he's in the right area, and running, and his confidence is getting better and better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And when you say about the scuff shots, it sort of reminds me about the one he had against Cardiff, that one where it's against the ground. Them sort of ones where he rushes at it a little bit. And sometimes he does do that, but it's good to see him get off the mark. And I think that was the problem before. He was trying a little bit too hard to score, I feel. And that was what was messing him up. But it's similar to that pre-season sort of glimpse, isn't it? Like he had that not so great game against Bournemouth, then got a couple of goals in the games after, and then that's what he's seen to bringing into the league phase and the competitions now, in the sense of scoring, and then having that confidence to go on and score again. So yeah, really really happy to see that, because like I say, he's effective elsewhere with the link up play. Just needed the goals on top of that, and he is getting them as well on top of that. But yeah, and then obviously we've got another goal. Yates, very good finish. And I was saying, I've got a feeling Yates is going to score in this game. And he did. Very nice finish. They're sort of similar to, I thought it was a similar finish to the goals Morris used to score for us. When he got that 20-goal season, sort of cut in and the finish. And as soon as the ball left his feet, I just knew it was going in. I had a great view of it from where I was, and it went in the bottom right corner. And from there on in, you're like, yes, now Yates has got a goal. He's going to have confidence. And again, it doesn't matter what opposition you're getting the goals against. Scoring at any level will give the players confidence. And, he obviously had that slow start, like I've mentioned, at Blackpool. And he had he was fit during that pre-season, whereas he wasn't at the start when we signed him. So that will give him massive confidence. And, now this could be the start of him getting up there for the goals, can't it, Dad?
Yeah, I mean, I said to you before, but from what I've seen of him in the past, and that he's deadly from inside the penalty area. He rarely misses, and it's the confidence of he's in his prime of his career that he's going to take that on and believes in himself. He could have passed it. The two play, I think Kadara and Nelson were kind of free. But he started the move as well, Yates. So, and that's his sort of little, you want a striker to be a little bit greedy, because, if they've got that confidence, then generally they're going to score. So, yeah, it was good that he put that away. Nice tidy finish from him.
Yeah, and then the goal of the game, Bramall, what a free kick. Now, like I said in my match reaction, over the years, especially at Kenilworth Road in cup competitions, we've scored some banging free kicks. I mean, you think of that Doughty one against Gillingham in that 3-2 game, and then this is another one that's right up there. You could probably argue this one was better. But yeah, Bramall, what a shot. And I'll be honest, when we had the free kick, I weren't expecting him to shoot. I thought Walsh would take it. They'll do that sort of dummy thing that, Walsh and Clark do sometimes, and it'll cross it in. But he took the shot on, and what a goal. I mean, he come out after and said, if we get free kicks from that position again, he'll be taking them, or he'll be, putting his name on there to take them anyway. And yeah, I mean, what a goal that was. And I thought throughout the game he was really good anyway. And, like I've said since he's come in, I think there's definitely a player there. But my worry is just if he gets injured, which touchwood he doesn't. Because, if he plays like that, he can be a great player. Like, taking away the goal, I thought, running at him, he was causing a lot of havoc, wasn't he, Dad?
Yeah, he was. But what we've got to put him in perspective, although I said, yeah, we got technically good and this, that, and the other one, we should be beating them. We need to be doing that against the better opposition in League One and things like that. So that's obviously the real test. But the signs are there. We got him on a free. I didn't even know he had free kicks in his locker. Obviously, he has. It's interesting because him and Walsh stand there. And I think Walsh was like, "No, I'm just going to float. And I think he was saying to Walsh, "No, I'm going to shoot." I mean, I think Walsh sort of looked at him as if to say, "No, no." Like, and then obviously when he did score, you see Walsh's reaction. It was like, "Okay." Do you know what I mean? It was really good. Yeah, well, what a goal! Great technique. You could say the keeper. Arguably, I think that keeper in their first game of the season was really bad or something like, and they got called out by the manager for it. Um, I don't think he made a couple of good saves, to be honest, in this game. I felt, and yeah, you could say it was slightly out of position, but still, it was a great finish, and a lot of keepers might have struggled with that anyway. Crossbarring in, always nice. Yeah, and then we just kind of wanted more. I felt like we wanted more just to keep that boost up. Obviously, we did get another one because the new Morris, come on. For me, his pace is electric. Like I don't know, like if he looks faster than Ogbene to me. I don't know. He's got the commentator when I was watching it said, and I get it. He's got a touch of the Raheem Sterling about him, and I think actually, yeah, I can see that. Um, Straight away running, attacking, and it was definitely a penalty. And you just can't handle him, and I can see that happening quite a lot. We're thinking about Ali on the left, him on the right. Cool. Yeah, and I saw him say, "Oh, let me take it," because obviously he went to score his debut. Literally just signed, and it was a good penalty as well. Waited for the keeper to dive. And yeah, really pleasing to see that, and that's what you kind of want to see. So yeah, the new Morris.
Yeah, no, very good. Me personally, I don't know who that is. I'll get that answered. But yeah, sorry about that, guys, because that scares me after flipping time. So yeah, but yeah, anyway, for this moment when Morris come on, obviously we were 3-0 up, and I did have a little bit of worries because a lot of Aberdeen fans during the week were telling me like, when obviously I'd done the video on Shaden Morris and things like that, they were telling me he played as a wing back once for them. They were 3-0 up and they ended up drawing 3-3, and we were 3-0 up. So I did just have them little worries. And there was a couple of moments at the start where, for me, he was getting done a little bit too easy. But then he grew into the game. He done really well, like I say, earned the penalty. Arguably, we should have got, another penalty. I think it was in the first half. Nelson got fouled, but yeah, being at that game, man, that referee, he was shocking. Absolutely shocking. But yeah, we did get a penalty in the end. And like I said in my reaction, like you said there, Dad sent the keeper the wrong way. And when we got the penalty, I was very interested to see who was actually going to take it. And then obviously they gave it to him. And I like to see that. I do like to see that. You don't really see that in football nowadays, really, the person who earned it take it. Teams just have a stick one. And there's been a lot of debate in the fan base, who's going to be the one taking them forward. Obviously, we haven't got Morris. I know Wells can take them. I think he did take a few for Bristol City last year. Obviously when he's on the pitch, I mean, there's another option there because it was a great penalty. It wasn't this stupid run up that players do either. It was just a straight, good penalty. So yeah, fair play to him. Fair play to him because I thought he grew into the gut. I think it was him that played a cross as well in the second half. No one was quite there. Done really well, really well on that side. And yeah, like I say, if we hopefully we will play wingers at some point. Because I think, like you said, Dad, if you've got Ali on the left, him on the right, and then like Yates firing, or I don't know, there's loads of strikers. Obviously, we've got El Hamidi and things like that. For these type of games, I wouldn't mind giving that a go. Obviously, in the league, you probably want to go two up front, but no reason why we shouldn't give that a go in these type of games. And yeah, hopefully, obviously, when we've got some more players back, we can then change it because a lot of people thought this type of game would be a rotation as well in the sense of the formation. Maybe give that a little go as well, but obviously it wasn't to be. But yeah, 4-1, we could have scored more. Let's be honest, especially in the first half. There was a moment Nordos shot. Yates was across. I'm not going to blame Nordos for taking on the shot. I can understand Yates' frustrations though, because he probably would have buried it. Because yeah, it's pretty much open goal if it gets played across to him. I think Yates had another shot that was saved. So, there was a couple of moments. I mean, there is some people that weren't too impressed with our second half performance, but for me, we're 3-0 up. We're comfortable, really. Didn't really need to do too much. Obviously, if we're playing a better team, and we're sort of, even if we were 3-0 up and we're sort of like, sitting back sort of thing, a bit more casual, then yeah, fair enough. Like if that was a league game, is what I'm trying to say. But that I'm not really too bothered, to be fair. The quality shone through in the end as it should. And yeah, I mean the Barnet fans were quite funny, to be fair. There was moments they're going, we've lost the ball, a classic chant. And yeah, they were going absolutely mental when they scored as well. So fair play. I mean, they were singing all night. They were singing all night. So fair play to them. Obviously, coming out of the football league. Obviously, games like this they look forward to. Obviously, we were in the Prem 2 years ago, so yeah, they look forward to it, and they did. And yeah, I've always rated the manager. Like I said, going into it, obviously, I used to watch Hemel a few times. He was the manager there, and he was very ruthless last year when they won a game, and he sort of called out the fans because they weren't too happy despite winning. So yeah, he was. It was decent. It was decent game to watch. It was good to be back, and yeah, man. I mean, a lot of standout performances, really. I mean, like I said in my reaction, I can't really give a man a match. So many good performances yet again. So that's how I view it. But anything else that you want to say on the game?
Yeah, I think Makosa in the middle was very interested. I mean, I felt he done really well there. Obviously, it's Barnet, but we know he's a good player, and it looks like he could probably end up playing there at the moment until maybe Mengi comes back, or Anderson comes back. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, Nelson, is looking more confident. Richards, I thought, done really well. Seen people saying he's got to bulk up. He obviously will bulk up. He's just turned 18. He's still growing. And he was giving it as much as he could as well, physically. So, yeah, it was pleasing to see, sort of winning ways, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was good to see.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like I say, it's good to actually win. Last couple of games obviously have won, which is actually good to see. Games we should be winning, don't get me wrong, but a couple of years ago, like I say, in these sort of cup games, we'd struggle. In the League Cup, the FA Cup, we'd be having replays against lower opposition and stuff. So, at least we're getting the results. And that is all that matters. And like I said in my reaction after, I mean, who wouldn't mind a day out at Wembley again? I mean, there is that heavy possibility. I mean, yes, obviously the priority is the lead, but Birmingham obviously were going all out last year for the league. They managed to get to the final of this as well. I'm not saying obviously we're going to win the league, but we expected to be right up there. Let's go for it. The squad depth could be massive, like I say in this game. So, but by the sounds of what Bloomfield says, he does want to take this, quite seriously, and he does want to go as far as possible. And like I said in my reaction, our record at Wembley is very, very good. So if we were to get there again, it could be a good opportunity. Good opportunity. And like I said, I want to get there mainly because in 2009, when I wore this shirt, actually, when I wore this shirt, we did obviously win it. But like I said, I weren't really into football. I was very young. So yeah, to actually witness it, obviously nothing will top the playoff final, but to be there again would be good. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I was looking. The other game is not till ages in our group. I think it's like the 23rd or something in this month. So I don't really know how it all works when it comes to the scheduling of the game. But yeah, we'll obviously have a look at that, and we'll go from there. And then yeah, obviously look at our other games as well on top of that and things like that. But yeah, so good 4-1 victory. Good start to this group, like I say, which we should be topping, to be fair. But yeah, the last thing we'll talk about on today's bit of a shorter one, as I've got to be somewhat 4-7. But yeah, we're going to talk on the window. So we're going to talk on the window of the sense of, obviously, since we done the stream the other day, we're not going to go through it all. But since then, obviously, we've done the stream. We announced El Hamadi and Gibode, and Woodrow was announced to go. I think they were the three, obviously out on loan now. Obviously, looking at the end of the window, my thoughts. I don't think it's been the worst window. You know, it's good that we've been getting business done and things like that. But my worry is still, and I stick by it, the fact that we didn't get a left back. Now that is a worry to me. Obviously, the free market is open, free agent market and things like that. Not Rob Edwards, flipping out. Matt Bloomfield has said he might look there if need be. Looking at that, the best player I see there for us would probably be like Jamal Lewis. The fact that he's obviously, Luton born and bred. He's a left back. Do you know what I mean? He's had experience, obviously, at Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? He's probably the one I look at. I mean, there is decent options, but my only worry with it, on top of saying this, is the fact that it's going to be a similar situation to, players that were at clubs but not being used. So the likes of Bramall, the likes of, well, not necessarily Bramall, sorry, Yates, and things like that. That's my only worry. So they'll still have to get up to speed. But, it's interesting. I think the attack is really good, for this level. It will just, we'll play certain games and I can just see whoever's on the bench just coming on and being too much. Sort of like the Wimbledon game. I know we didn't score necessarily, but you saw, it weren't a great performance. The bench players come on and done what they've done. So, I think when we're looking at the attack, it's really good. I'm interested to see what Gabode is like, because I'll be honest, when we were linked with him before we obviously got him this time round, I was, a little bit worried because I know we were looking at the time the likes of Kelman and things like that. But, on top of getting El Hamadi, I think that's another statement signing on top of what we got because, again, he's experienced. Obviously, I've been looking at him for a while, looking at him earlier in the summer as well. I remember when we actually got to the Prem, people were saying we should have got him then as well, not non-Luton fans as well. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And obviously, he done very well at Wimbledon, his best time in his career so far. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Obviously, he's injured at the moment, which is a bit of a shame, but it could be a blessing in disguise as well because no one else wanted him because he was injured. And obviously, on that, there's a option to buy or obligation, something like that, if we get promoted. So, yeah, that'll be interesting as well. On top of that, and yeah, good attacking options. But overall, Dad, was you happy with the window?
Yeah, you can only get what you can get. I mean, him definitely, like say, who's after him for a while. His injury is very slight. You've seen him on the weights and on the bikes and that. In the videos and stuff like that. So it's just he only played for Ipswich. I think a few weeks ago anyway. So 23, proven at that level with confidence. Like he said, it's a sort of club that's why he done well at Wimbledon because they brought him in. They had that good relationship, and I think it'll be the same here. Come off the bench a couple of times in the Premier League, and it didn't, quite. But they had Delap, who was just smashing, everything to pieces and that. So he's down a pecking order, but yeah, at this level, great signing, and yeah. And then the other attackers, we've already seen what Morris can do. He'll predominantly be, probably on the bench and stuff. He's not going to be loaned out. He'll be involved heavily in the Virtue Trophy, I think. And gives us that other option. Obviously, we've got Woodrow on loan, but I think he might actually do quite well at Wickham. We'll see. But yeah, obviously, unfortunate the McGuinness situation. But some fans are 50-50 on that. Well, we'll see. But Makoto looked like he could cope there. Like so we've still got Mengi, and then it's only a couple of months till January. Hopefully, we can get a left back in. We know we kind of need that. It's a bit weak there, but. How we playing, we've needed that all season. We was unfortunate with the Johnson injury, and we still defended quite well without one. Let's be honest. So if we can hold it off for a couple of months, we'll see if we do get anyone in on the free transfer market. But overall, yeah, I don't mind. 4 players was it? I think we signed. Attacking wingers, striker, 2 strikers, 2 wingers, wasn't it? With 3 wingers actually, I think it might have been. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with it, considering we didn't, the McGuinness thing. I thought that's what happens again. We one of them players that we thought would be gone straight away, but no one seemed to come in with him, and then it's just one of them things, isn't it? We'll be all right. I feel we'll be all right. We've definitely got enough in the building in central defence anyway to be fine. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. But yeah, obviously when it kind of was like this is our last summer sign, we was like, yeah, but free chance, why aren't we looking at it? And obviously it's come out and said yeah, but yeah, there doesn't seem to be an awful lot of options. I mean, not of real quality anyway, but we're not the scouts, we're not the recruitment team, they would see stuff that we won't see. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with it.
Yeah, I think the thing is now, if again, it's not ideal because they're obviously free agents, they haven't played, at a club and things. But I do think if we get a left back, I think people's opinions might change on top of Bramall and then the sense of the window, because that is the main thing. Like coming out of Kenilworth Road, talking to fans, I think that is the main sort of worry that we didn't quite feel that. And obviously that's been my worry as well. But yeah, I mean, elsewhere we're pretty stacked. And you look at the defence, you look at the McGuinness departure. It's a good opportunity, not obviously to start, but a good opportunity for like Chigoze now to be in the squad. He's shown really good glimpses, and you got to be giving him an opportunity. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he's got to be in the squad. Breaking through like Johnson obviously has. And Nelson, he's got to be given that opportunity. And also, I found out of him yesterday. He's actually been at Luton since he was 8. And he was actually born in Spain as well, which is pretty interesting. So, yeah, I think you've got to be at least having him in the squad. Obviously, we've got Holmes out, which, on loan, which we all wanted to see, let's be honest. Woodrow obviously on loan as well. So the outgoings I'm not too disheartened with, other than obviously McGuinness, that was a bit like, even at time, as guys, we were sort of like, wow, when I broke it to you guys. But yeah, I mean, obviously we've kept Mengi and things like that. There was apparent interest from Burnley, but I mean, like I've said he's a good player. His head needs to be screwed on to be playing at this football club. And I don't like, say for example, now he started playing some games for us, whether he's coming on the bench or whatever, and he done all right, and then he goes in January. I've got no problem with that. I'd have no problem with that. But yeah, I just don't want, the sort of same issues where the players just don't want to play. Like, I mean, you see it in the Canberra, maybe that, don't want to play necessarily, but he's, at Zimbabwe, he looks fit to me. Do you know what I mean? There's all that rumours, he's not fit or he's not proper fit. Like, do you know what I mean? The same thing was said with Chong. Was that rumoured to be true? I don't know, because then he's going to Sheffield United, coming on the bench straight away. Do you know what I mean? So, or off the bench, I say. So, yeah, I'm just that's my only thing. That is my only thing. But I believe the window might be open abroad still for certain places. So hopefully, there can be some interest. You never know. I mean, they have had interest Mengi abroad before. Italy, I believe it was, wasn't it? And yeah, I mean, Nakamba's going to be hard to get off the books, but yeah, I think if we've still got him by January, you've got to just, for me, you've got to terminate the contract. You've got to, because you just don't want players sitting there and just doing nothing. Like, it's frustrating. I mean, Moses was like that for a large part. After he stopped playing, he was just sitting there taking away. And it's just not what you want to see. It's really not what you want to see. So, yeah, that's how I see it personally. With that, we'll go through some comments. Jackie says, hi, Ty Daz, really enjoyed the game. It's good to see new players. Yeah, absolutely. Some fans say we got pony players, but you can try and go for top players, but top players don't want to play in Div 3. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. I mean, a player you could say an example of that with is Kelman. Obviously we were rumoured to be linked, and then as soon as Charlton come in, he's going there because it's a higher level. So, yeah, I do understand that, to be fair. I like what we got, but I also agree should have got 2 fullbacks. Yeah, that's what we're thinking. And I think the way he sort of worded it, Obviously, I didn't see a video or anything. I've just seen the quotes from Bloomfield. I think we will go out there and get someone. And yeah, the number one priority for me, I guess, in that free market would be obviously a left back. But I wouldn't mind Jamal Lewis. I mean, let me know. Do you guys agree with that? I like what we have as well. A lot more positives, says Jackie. Yeah, I agree. It's just we get a fullback, and I'll be proper confident. To be fair. Evening, guys. Big up to Mick. Yeah, I mean there is that. People are saying that because the fact that obviously he had the interest from Ipswich, whether that was true or not. But then Sheffield United come in, and it sort of seemed like it just happened instantly. Like, do you know what I mean? So maybe there is that. And I guess if there is that, then yeah, you're happy he's off the books in that way. I mean, he wouldn't come across as we've seen him like that, but you never know. You know, he hears the Ipswich rumours, obviously they're league above. Then he hears the Sheffield United ones. That could, change his mind. And that could be what happened with him. But yeah, I mean, like I say, I think we will miss that aerial presence. You know, obviously he was very good at heading the ball away. But yeah, I mean, on the ball, sort of, with the ball at his feet and that, I think obviously we do have better defenders and things like that now. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he does. We'll see how Sheffield United do as a whole. So they've got a few of our players or former players. Obviously started off very, very poorly. So we'll see if they get another relegation. Because I'll tell you what, some of them could end up with 3 relegations, mate. Like, that would not look good for them. Yeah, obviously likes of Chong and McGuinness could end up with another one. So yeah. I mean, there is that. I mean, there's 2 ways I look at it. Right? Obviously we don't know the rumor for this fee, but we're hoping it's a decent amount at least. It can't be something small, considering what we paid for him. But then you look at a Doughty one. The more I think about it, I can see it from both sides. I can see it in the sense of obviously fans frustrated because he's worth more than that, despite us playing in League One. He's if you ask non-Luton fans who do you think their best player is, a lot of them would have said Doughty at that time. Let's be honest. So based on that, his Premier League, his contribution in the Premier League, that counts. That still counts. That's why half of these players go. Because the people don't look at the last 2 years. They look at the Premier League season. Hence why, like, Premier League teams like Burnley still want Mengi and things like that. So I can see it from that side why fans are frustrated. But then if they don't want to be there, like you said, I can sort of see in the same way why the club just get rid of him straight away. It's a bit of an interesting one. But yeah, hopefully at some point we do find out. We know we do usually find out late stuff, like a bit later or a few months down the line about fees and stuff. Hopefully we find out a rough estimation of the McGuinness one, and then we can judge it a bit more there as well on top of that. Yeah, there is also that. When he was at us, he was playing for Ireland. Obviously, we were higher levels. He played against England, didn't he? And he actually done all right despite them losing. I think it's 5-0 in the end or something. So yeah, there is that. The higher, it goes back to what the Norway manager said. The higher they're playing, so yeah, there is that. Yeah, again, a large part of that will come down to the fee, mate. I think in the sense of us judging more from there. Because obviously, if it's a decent fee, it benefits the club as well, then yeah, I guess, I'll look at it by then and I'll be happy. But yeah, for now, obviously, I'm not disappointed at him. But yeah, it's just the way it's come in. And it's got to be that late on in the window, of us not really thinking of replacing there because we felt we wouldn't need to, surely it would have been decent. It would have been a decent offer. You'd imagine, wouldn't you, Dad?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Bluefield's already said we knew they'd be interested in. That's why we signed Longvic. That's why we signed Naismith and things like that. So and Anderson's been on, and he's right. He's correct. The big thing for me is losing him and Mingy. That would have been the issue. We didn't. I'm not by the fee. It was rumoured to be 10. I don't think it was 10 initially. I think it's more like 6 with add-ons, if this, that, and the other, which probably didn't happen. And it's probably you're gonna make a loss if you get double relegation or whatever, you're going to make a loss. It's just how it is. That's tough shit, basically. And we obviously didn't go for nothing. There's fees involved. It's probably about 3 million, 4 million. There's probably add-ons there as well. And Sheffield United should be up there challenging for promotion. He's young, he's ambitious. He weren't with us that long. He would have been still with it. If he was in the Championship, it would have been a no-go. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. It is what it is. We're not broke. Some fans are acting, I don't know whether you're undisclosed. All clubs do it. A lot of clubs do it, apart from the Premier League, where you can't get away from it because agents just leak the fees and things like that. We're not broke. We're not skint. Do you know what I mean? We've got a very good squad. Couple of months till January if we need to work on any areas. Let's see what happens, and just push for. That's it. Now it's done. Push for promotion.
Yep. All right, let's try and do that now. Another player, obviously, we did sign on deadline day, but we can't really talk too much about him. But I will be keeping an eye now. He's obviously Ethan Archer. Obviously, he's where he was till January. And yeah, I will keep an eye on him now. I believe the other day, I don't think he featured in the squad. It might be because he's technically our player now. I'm not sure if he could play in it. They got absolutely battered. I don't know if you saw that, Dad. It was like 7-1 in the end. Crazy. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on him. Since he's been there, have a look at how he's doing and things like that. Keep an eye, see what he could bring to Luton. Obviously, January and after. And then the player Sheffield United did sign shortly after was Ben Mee. So someone very experienced shortly after McGuinness. So be interesting. It will be interesting to see where he does fit in. And I guess just because it's former players, some people like to see how they do, some people don't. I mean, I like to see how they do. I know you're similar, Dad. I guess as much as Charlton, we'll be keeping an eye on Sheffield United as well, see how they do with certain players as well. But yeah, Mick says I don't blame him for going. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna, like I say, I'm gonna judge my judgment when we see an estimation, because it won't be an exact number, but there's always estimations that fly out, at some point. So I'll judge it from there and see what happens there when it comes to that. But let's be honest as well, and obviously it ain't all down to him, but he was a player we signed to try and go up, and that didn't happen. It was the complete opposite. So there's also that to look at. As much as I think he was good for us, we have had better players over the years as well on top of that. But yeah, Dad, any final things you want to say before we wrap up?
No, I just enjoyed a little break and back home game Plymouth again. Technically we should, the way they've started, be up for and be winning really.
Yep, no, I'll totally agree. I said that the other day as well after that game, and yeah, they did win the other day, which is only their third win of the season, 2 in cup competitions, by the way. So they've only actually got 1 win going into the league. They do play this weekend, so as we're not playing, I probably will keep an eye on that. To be fair, I might even watch it. They are playing a pretty good game actually, Stockport at home. So that'll be a good game to have a look at, I'd say, definitely, because Stockport, again, another team you would say will at least be in that playoff conversation. So yeah, we'll see. I'll have a look at that game and then see how that goes. But yeah, as for content, there'll be nothing really other than shorts coming out. Obviously, if we do dip into the free agent transfer market, I will obviously bring T-Boy discusses to that. But yeah, as for our hat show, it'll not be one until next Friday now. Obviously, when we take on Plymouth, we'll do a preview to that. And yeah, we'll probably watch the game together as well, Dad. And then from there on in, obviously there'll be a match reaction and things like that. And yeah, obviously the Blackpool game got postponed. Blackpool game did get postponed, and it's now a Tuesday night. It's a little bit annoying. Always like to do Blackpool away, but yeah, probably won't be doing it on a Tuesday night because it's very very annoying, to be fair. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but yeah, thank you very much, mate. Good podcast, nice one, mate. But yeah, like I say, next one will be next Friday. And then, yeah, we will get into everything when it comes to the Plymouth game. So, yeah, don't forget to smash a like if you haven't already. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as well. Do check out all the other content recently. And yeah, like I say, smash a like, subscribe, all of that. Follow me across my socials, subscribe to the extra channel. And yeah, until next time, we'll see you guys in a bit. Take care and peace.